Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to the next weekly general overview with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. Okay, so first things first, if you haven't seen it yet, I've put out a set of videos, just a mini series called the Spring Equinox Energy Update. Just short messages for each sign, but these are based on your sun sign. There's a couple of things that I want to mention about this. Yes, when it comes to astrology, your ascendant sign is very important for day-to-day accuracy, for things that happen on the ground, for the characteristics that you most sort of show up as, even your physical self or your physical body, you know, is typified by your ascendant. But one of the things, you know, and I get it, you know, obviously sun sign astrology gets a really bad rap because it kind of descended into this whole, oh, you're going to meet a handsome stranger and, you know, as luck would have it and all of that sort of stuff. So I get it. I understand why people are, you know, pulling away from that. But let's consider that your sun sign represents your soul. It represents your overall life mission or goal, your mission statement, the part of you that is seeking some sort of resolution and expression in this lifetime. You'll have to forgive me. I currently have aligners in and I'm just getting used to being able to talk with them. So if you hear me speaking a bit odd, that is the reason why. I was hoping I didn't have to mention it, but I know somebody's going to pick it up. So I thought I would just put it out there. But your sun sign, imagine wherever it is in your chart, right? Whatever sign it is in, this is a part of you that is seeking expression. This is the deepest part of your soul that is here to explore itself through that understanding. And that spotlight is on that part of you. It's your essence. It's the pure part of you. It's effectively your shard of the divine, right? My big personal belief is inside every human being, there is a spark of the divine, right? And whatever that means to you, whether that's gods, goddesses, whether it's the universe, I've typified it now. Well, not typified it. That's a really poor thing to say about divinity, actually. Bad, Rafi. What I've actually come to understand is that it transcends gods and goddesses, and I just now call it the all, because how can you give words or form to something that is all-encompassing and is greater than any aspect of itself? So there is a spark of the divine in each and every single one of us. I truly believe that. And your sun sign tells you what the color and the texture and the shape of your soul is. And the sign that it's in, it gives you an understanding of what you came here to do, what it is that you need to understand about yourself so that you understand your overall life goal mission, you know, to understand what it is that you're really here for. This is the stuff that your sun sign can reveal to you. So it is the longer sort of term over the course of your life, what you'll work through, what you'll do, how you'll show up. On the day-to-day, it's the ascendant sign, but this mini series for the spring equinox is about your sun sign. And this is because I wanted to create some, not even a framework, you know, that's not my place. What I wanted to give you was a deep understanding of where is it now that your life is asking you to release something in order to push on to the next part. And once you have cleared that ground, what is it that you want to plant in there, and what is it that has a chance to grow in order for you to move forward in, you know, in any way, shape or form. Each season lasts about 3 months, so you've got 3 months to plan, to you know, do the spring clean. And it's not just about, you know, the outside or spring clean in the house, although those are wonderful expressions of springtime energy. But spring is also about internally cleaning up your space, really asking yourself, what is the dead wood here, right? When winter comes or it's coming to an end, what do? We pull back the brush, we weed and we prune, and we, you know, we make sure that the ground is clear and it looks barren and everything. But you think, yeah, okay, now everything that I'm going to plant has a chance to truly grow without being strangled by all of the internal crap that I hold on to. All right, I'm going through this process myself at this moment in time. This Pisces season and even this Mercury retrograde has really revealed some stuff to me that I actually, it's not that I wasn't aware of it. I think I was just not ready to deal with it up until recently, and I'm really glad that it's come up, because now I am ready to kind of do that for myself. So if you haven't seen it, please check out your spring equinox energy update. I'll put a link or a little, one of those little floating things in there to have a look. So for the week ahead, interesting message. When I went into my intuition, what I actually saw was a chair, and at first I was like, is this like the chair, like being in for therapy or something? And it kind of was, but it wasn't. It was like this really luxurious, like a lazy boy, where you can put your feet up, and it was like ultra lush and comfortable. It was like cream leather, and it just looked really inviting. And the word that I heard was examine. But when I was looking at the chair, it didn't look like a typical sort of, oh, okay, somebody's on the couch. What we're being asked to do this week is to make space, is to really do the whole thing of making yourself still. And I talk a lot about this, especially if you get my daily email. I talk a lot about making internal space. I talk a lot about going into the silence, being okay with everything that comes up, being okay with sitting with everything, being, in fact, not even okay, being good with that space. I love silence. Even in my younger days, I was one of those people that, I would feel the silence. I would have to be doing something or going somewhere. I was a bit of a Felicia, always going here, there and everywhere. And what I came to understand by the time I was about 19 was that meditation, stillness, reflection, study, peace, these are things that are really, really important for our lifescape. These are really things that are really important for our internal, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So this week I'm inviting you, or the message overall is, whatever it is that you examine, do it in comfort. When you're chasing it and it's like, okay, well, now I need to discover what it is that you don't, if you come at it from that place, all you're going to do is create more stuff that needs to be excavated. Make yourself still, move into a place of comfort, whatever that is for you. For some people, comfort is going to the gym. For some people, it's like me, being a hobbit, sticking your toes in the grass and hugging trees, going foraging for herbs, all of that sort of stuff, going swimming, basking in the sun. Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you can do, that is going to bring you comfort, because in that space of comfort you also open and expand. It's just like tapping into it, like Tai Chi or yoga, moving meditation. Beautiful energies, because when you move into that space of stillness, presence, focus, awareness, what happens to you is your internal space opens up to breathe. And when that happens, this is one of the things I think modern life has kind of taken from us. Because when you open up and you expand like that, a lot of your stuff starts to come up. Your mind will dredge things up. People are like, well, I'll just be on my phone 24/7 then, or I'll be, have my nose in the iPad or watching TV. And I'm not saying that I don't do those things, but I know when there is time for those things, and I know that when I am in that stillness and things come up to be looked at or to be examined, I am in a safe space to do so. And whatever comes up can't hurt you. It may be painful to memorize it or to go into that space, but it's important that you do, because whatever comes up, you need to dredge it up so that you can look at it, examine it, and then release it. That is the whole process. And I think a lot of people just get stuck in the pain of their memories or whatever it is that comes up, or maybe they get lost in the fantasy or the illusion of the memories that they have, With that said, I've gone on long enough. Let's get to the cards. For the Destiny card for the week ahead, let's have a look, see. All right, it says Raph on his high horse soapbox, but you guys know me by now. Your Destiny card for the week ahead is strength, having the courage to go into this space, having the courage to sit with what comes up, having the courage to really just kind of go with it. And say to yourself, you know what, it's okay. In fact, it's not okay. It's great to be in this space. It's great to be in a place of understanding. Now, your strength card does suggest that all of us in some way, shape or form are going to be very focused on the physical aspects of life this week. Whether that is, you know, for some people it might be your diet, for some people it might be exercise, for others it might literally just be the day-to-day, you know, like doing things on a very physical nature. There's something about the strength card as well that always, you know, because yes, it's the number 8, but in the Rider-Waite deck, she's got the Mobius veil above her head, which always suggests that there is something here that needs to be addressed, or something that you need to have the courage to examine, to look at, right? She's taming a lion on the strength card in the Rider-Waite deck. And that to me, very, very self-explanatory. This is about taming your emotions, or that wildest of creatures, your own heart. When you can do that and you can channel that energy and focus it into something, you are better equipped to start manifesting and creating the things that you want. It's no coincidence that all of the older texts and mystery schools and stuff say, if you're not aligned to it on the inside, you can't see it on the outside, or it won't show up for you. Your strength card is basically saying to you this week, how do you need to school your emotions? Whatever comes up, it no longer has the power to hurt you, lest you give it that power, right? Really take a moment to let that sink in, and what it feels like to you. And this may very well look like something physical. Maybe you'll have some sort of you know, epiphany about what you actually need to do. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I read for people, in their cards I will see a trinket, an item that holds so much memory or attachment, and I say to them, you've got this in your, you know, wherever. Usually it just comes through intuition, and I'll say to them, you've got this item in your front room, or it's in your bedroom, or wherever. It holds a lot of attachment and you've been meaning to throw it out, but you haven't. Get rid of it. And then they'll email me back 2, 3, 4, sometimes months later and say, you know what, since getting rid of that thing, everything has shifted. Sometimes it can be something really, really small. So consider that this week, your physical environment and your internal environment. How is it that they need to change, or they need to be examined? All right, for the direction card, let's have a look, see how do we best approach this, or what do we need to know about it? Okay, and this week we get the Empress, right? So for a lot of you, this is about your money. For a lot of you, this is about your finances. For some of you, for those of you that are studying or work in the beauty professions, this is going to be a great week for you. It may be where you either come across some new discovery or a specializing aspect of what you do. I'm speaking specifically to those people for this moment. You know, because your Empress, or the Earth Mother in this deck, she is all things beautiful, right? She's everything to do with the beauty industry, from hairdressing to massage, facials, gosh, you know, everything else outside of that as well, even up to and probably including Reiki. I wouldn't say it's necessarily any of the sort of more deeper works, but definitely some of the lighter hearted things. So if you work or you're studying in any of those professions, this week could be a really great week for you. For all of us across the board, there's something going on with the finances. On a wider world stage level, I think we're going to see a lot happening with the banks this week. I'm really getting this inkling. Strength card, right? Something that's happening internally. The Empress, Taurus, right? She's Taurus, well, she's actually Venus. But Venus ruled, right? We're looking at the banks, we're looking at the finances, we're looking at the money. So all of us on a personal level will be looking at the finances for sure. As a direction card, maybe this is you saying to yourself, you know what, I need to have more control when it comes to my money. I need to have more control when it comes to my spending. I need to focus more on what it is that I'm doing with my resources. On a wider world stage level though, I think we're going to see something happen with the banks. I don't know whether, because the feeling that I get from this, it's either about investments or interest rates. but this isn't going to be something that works against the average person. It's going to be something that makes a lot of people happy, but on a wider, even broader level, there is going to be something that comes forward that's, I don't know whether this is a new rule or a new regulation of some sort, but it definitely looks like it's possible. Now, the Empress card as a direction, this is asking you to tap into the abundance that is already around you. What is it that you have that you are maybe not using to the best of its advantage, or even maybe not even using for its purpose? You know, this is something for you to really look at on a deeper level. And then finally, the insight card for the week ahead. Ooh, okay, they're all jumping out at me now. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Devil card, and the Chariot. These all jumped out in one. Very, very interesting. So your Knight of Pentacles as an insight card is basically saying this is about finding that determination to do what needs to be done. This week it does look like as well, because it's right underneath the Strength card, there are going to be a lot of you journeying or traveling. There's going to be a lot of, and the interesting thing is as well, we've got this whole thing going on with the coronavirus where people are being grounded, where people are being halted, right? So the Devil card with the Knight of Pentacles, that's a very Capricornian energy. It looks like something to do with travel is definitely coming up for sure, right? So that's interesting in and of itself. But it also looks like something to do with the banks. So your Devil card is, it's addictive or, you know, repeating patterns that we don't seem to be able to break out of. This is going to be an interesting one. I get this feeling that some sort of law or legislation is about to be passed. And I feel like there's going to be two. There's going to be one that's meant to placate people or the public, so to speak. There's going to be another one that is, you know, and that will be the thing that's like, oh, look at this. Isn't this great? You know, for the everyday person. And the other one is going to be, right, well, okay, we need to kind of find a way of grounding people that doesn't look like we're trying to rule them. So very, very interesting. And then we've got the Chariot card, which is about, you know, winning and victory. I feel like we're going to see some sort of big protest this week. I feel like there's going to be someone sort of speaking out, or maybe a whole bunch of people speaking out. The fact that it comes through the guise of the Knight of Pentacles, very likely to be younger people. This might be people that work in certain fields as well, maybe the medical professionals, you know, but young medical professionals, like people that are up and coming. And it might be a battle against the establishment in some sort of way. But as insight cards, what these are basically saying is get a handle on where you're at right now. And get a handle on how you actually feel right now. Don't, you know, and I always say this, don't judge it, don't try to change it. Just examine it for exactly what it is. Whatever it is that comes up is an aspect or a reflection of yourself or your past. And that means that it has no power to truly hurt you. If you transcend that experience, it always becomes wisdom. Right? That's the whole point of all of this. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. What do you think? What do you feel? And let me know what you think about your spring equinox messages. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, and I'll see you soon.